Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I'm your host, Brandon.
And Justin.
And today we are starting our discussion of Morningstar, Book 3 of Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. If you have that copy that I just displayed on the screen, it's the first 185 pages, or I think 23 chapters. So we read through chapter 23, and we're going to discuss those chapters. Before we get into any type of discussion, can't speak. We are sponsored by Louisiana's small business named Mudcat Whiskers. They specialize in selling men's grooming products, specifically for your beards and your facial hair. So he's got wash, conditioner, balm, butter, oil, shaving creams if you don't keep a beard but you want your face to be smooth. So they come in a variety of fragrances and scents. And if none of that works for you, he also sells candles and cologne. So head on over to his website, mudcatwhiskers.com, and use code Paperweights at checkout, and you will save yourself 15%. Just for being a listener of ours. So, yeah. All right. So, Justin, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. So this is officially the second episode of the podcast we've released in 2026. And had some good news as far as training and rehab are going. I've been training jiu-jitsu one-armed a lot lately, and it's been fun. Surprising how fast I've kind of learned how to do things with just one arm, and then I get good at doing things with one arm. Once I get that second arm back, then it makes it a whole lot easier. So
Definitely.
And then at physical therapy today, I got to do some elevated push-ups. So not off the floor, but at an angle on a bar. Did some push-ups today for the first time since my surgery. So things are going good, and it was pain-free. So
Oh yeah.
that is my athletic feat of the week.
Hmm.
My athletic feat, not the books and not the fungus athlete's foot.
Yes.
So
Well, that's good news.
yeah, starting off the year really well. Anything happening for you this year so far?
No, I'm just trying to get the new house up and running. It's slow going. But hey, the cat moved into this room this morning, so she's starting to branch out a little bit. She spent the first 2 weeks in my room just chilling. So
yeah, cats are it's funny, they're either very curious and explore everything, or they're just like, I don't know, I don't trust anything, I'm just gonna stay right here.
yep.
But Nyx has always hidden herself away though in places, especially if people come over.
Yeah, she's a little antisocial.
But she's a nice little fluff ball. So, all right, you want to get into this discussion?
Yeah, we can talk about this new book, where it seems like the author listened to everything we were complaining about and decided to fix it.
I know, right? As I was reading, I was like, he heard everything we complained about and corrected everything. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
cool.
kind of crazy. But yeah, I've obviously been really enjoying it. I think it's so far, by far the best of the three books. Uh, I'm curious how it's going to end and everything. But yeah, it's been really, really good. And it makes me a little bit more excited if we were going to do the second trilogy.
Yeah, which is actually 4 books. Like I think the fourth book is coming out this year. So the second part of the
Air or whatever.
second era or whatever, yeah, is going to be 4 books, as of now. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess
I
plans
also.
change.
Hmm?
As good, I guess I guess plans change for how many books there's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know if he originally planned it as a trilogy or always planned it as 4, but um, I know a fourth one is coming out. So, but yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed this section and didn't really want to stop reading, but I was like, you know what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna stop right here. So,
Mhm.
let's get into a brief summary of what happened in this section.
Right. So basically, it starts off with Darrow in utter blackness. He's been captured, tortured, and then left alive to basically be the plaything of the jackal. And he has him in like blackness, and he's starting to go insane. Uh, and eventually breaks out of the thing. And he was in a table, so he was pretty fucked up. And to like a little meeting of Cassius and Aja and the Jackal. And the Jackal's now the Emperor of Mars, Emperor, the Governor of Mars. A lot of shit's happened, and then we get the fun jailbreak sequence where he gets rescued by these two Gray brother and sisters. Um, who are
Holiday and
son,
Trig.
yeah, Holiday and Trig, who are sons of Ares. Uh, they end up rescuing Victra, and basically they end up running away. Uh, Trig gets killed. It's very sad. And then these crawlers burst through the ground and like rescue them. There's a big whole chase. It's really cool. But he basically gets rescued. Then it's kind of goes into the phase of him kind of getting reclamated back to his body, getting like uh, you know rejuvenated, talking with his family, seeing his family, pumping that iron with Victra. He ends up joining the Howlers in a very strange initiation ritual.
Yeah, Victor gets carved up too to make her not, I mean, no longer a paraplegic for one, but
Yeah,
also uh, stronger and stuff.
yeah. Um, so we find out that Severo is taken over as Ares, and they're kind of been doing. There's like the Legion of Ares or something. There's the Legion, which are run by basically what's her face, uh, not Dancer, but the other girl, Harmony, and they're like doing like actual bombing runs and stuff, and he's been doing stuff, and then the Jackal's been like on the down low, like murdering a bunch of Reds, kind of killing the rebellion there. Um, so that's been happening, and then Mustang and the Moon Lords, like Saturn, and Jupiter, are like in rebellion, but they're losing. So we figure all that, and yeah. Oh, we also find out that they executed Darrow in public. There was a public execution, but it was somebody that was carved up to look like him. Um, Ragnar's still there doing his
Severo
stuff.
took over the mantle of Ares.
Yeah,
Did you say that already?
I'm pretty sure I did, but
Okay.
who knows? Um, listeners know. But yes, so it's a big cluster. Darrow is very not sure of himself. You know, he just went through months and months of torture, and he's kind of freaking out. But they eventually are like, and there's like a secret. There's also we find out a secret city in Mars that like is their Zion, basically from the Matrix. That they hack the system to show that it's like just uh rock, so it doesn't exist. So they have like a secret hideout, which is pretty cool. Even
It
though they're
was
like,
it was pretty cool, but kind of confused, a little bit confusing when he was describing it because they've hollowed out the stalactites, um,
yeah,
but they can see out of them, but nothing can see inside of them. I don't know. It's weird.
yeah, yeah, just kind of went with it. Um, Basically, they end up coming up with a plan to kidnap Silver,
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yeah, Quicksilver. Um, who was like the richest man in the system in like the universe. Um, and they're like gonna basically crash the economy. So
And that's because I think that he was their intel said that he was the secret backer for the Jackal and the Sovereign.
yeah. So basically, there's a whole cool covert sequence with them like going in and like doing that. Uh, but instead, they basically interrupt this clandestine meeting between Mustang and the Sovereign's people and Quicksilver. There's a giant shootout. Um, uh, Mustang's like, "Hey, I'm glad you're alive. Don't kill my dude," and runs away. Um, and they basically are like stranded on Phobos, which is the moon that they're on. And he basically decides he then okay they escape barely. Uh, they then talk with Quicksilver. Turns out he's founding the basically the founding member of the Sons of Ares. Uh, Severo's been acting crazy. He gets put in his place finally. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna like rise up. So they like broadcast to the entire universe that like, hey, now's the time to rise. And they're gonna take over this moon and like kill everybody, basically. That's kind of where it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Obviously a lot more, but brief some as brief as possible.
Yeah. All right. We already talked about that we liked the book a little more, or a lot more than the others, so far as the best book, best writing he's had. So we can talk about world building and the setting. Um, I don't have much here, but you can add wherever you want. Um, First off, I thought that the first chapter of Darrow, actually first two chapters, because the first one was him by himself, and then the second one was opening up and seeing, was really well written. The solitary confinement, the darkness, the kind of descent. I mean, we don't really see the descent, but we see the after effects of him having descended into kind of madness, and being in that darkness for I think it was close to a year.
Yeah,
It
something like that.
said. So other than that, I think that the return to Mars and like Lycos was much needed for the story, especially the rebellion, to have the inclusion of the Reds into it. I think that was lacking a lot in the first two books. You kind of just it kind of got away of like Darrow becoming a gold and like not having a plan because Ares didn't tell him anything, and he's just like, well, I mean, I guess our plan, the Sons of Ares' plan, is to bring down the gold. So I guess I'll do that from the inside, however I can. Um, Never mind. Let's get the Reds on board and like, actually have a rebellion and an uprising going on. So
Yeah, I like. Oh, this is kind of more themed, but this whole section is kind of like we need to stop being terrorists and become like legitimate, which is interesting. Um, but yeah, I like the world building of Phobos. That was a cool like setting. Um, Even like like the first description of it was one of the times I knew when the book was different because I just read it and I was like, whoa, this is actually like detailed and pretty cool. Um, like that. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of more of the same because it's the book three, but yeah, I think just a little bit more economy world building. That it's kind of funny. Quicksilver's like a capitalist. He's like, yeah, I don't really care about colors. I just care about money. Um,
yeah.
and that he was kind of common into working with the Sons of Ares because Fitchner was a son, and he was like, "Well, they're gonna kill anyone that's associated with him, so I guess I gotta join." Uh, it's funny. Um,
Yeah. I yeah, I put this under writing style or passages, but I guess it could go in the world building and setting section. Um, a lot of the plans, like a lot of the section with Quicksilver on his place was they infiltrated that on Phobos, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So a lot of that actually reminded me of a lot of scenes in different Star Wars movies. Uh,
yeah.
so like you have the trash compactor, which is from A New Hope.
Mhm.
Um, then breaking into Quicksilver's in the dark, like through the glass, like floating and through the glass and cutting, or not, maybe not floating, but climbing up, putting a section and cutting the glass open and going in. Reminded me of Anakin, like the scene of Anakin protecting Padme and Attack of the Clones.
Mm.
Um, and then you have the interruption of the meeting, which reminded me of Vader and Lando making a deal in Bespin.
Mm.
They go in and like, oh, they're meeting. These people are meeting with such and such. Oh, Mustang's here too. Oh gosh, um, that one was a little more chaotic, just because
Yeah.
they were disguised, so nobody that was in there knew who they were.
Was a giant Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Except nobody died, so except for that one lady. Do you find it hilarious that the named like the Death Knight and like every single one of them they always get owned
Yeah,
immediately. It's really funny.
yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, these people are supposed to be like top tier Peerless Scarred and warriors,
Yeah.
or is it just like for prestige? Just you just get the title. It's like, hey, yeah, you're not badass. You could just die and they'll just appoint another one.
Yeah.
Title.
But yeah, it's like it's every time that like oh this the Olympic Knight of blah blah blah. And it's like oh he's dead. It's just kind of funny.
I mean, Arcos died.
Yeah.
Fitchner died.
Yeah.
The Death Knight, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even get his real name or her real name.
No, it was just like the Death
And
Knight.
we did kill one of the Furies.
Yes.
I mean,
Who
it
did
was
did
like
she have a name?
she had a name. It's like Paula. No, not actually Paula, but
Her name is Robert Paulson.
maybe. She just kind of ran past and got shot a bunch and died. It was kind of funny.
Who who did Ragnar
He was fighting
throw
a he was fighting a two whatchamacallit.
Telemonis's?
Yeah.
But no, Ragnar like threw a razor right into the forehead of somebody.
Might have just been a guy. I don't know.
I thought it was the Death Knight. Yeah.
Oh,
That guy
okay.
killed the Death Knight with just jamming the razor into his head.
He's also dual wielding razors now, which is pretty cool.
I must have missed that.
It said like once or twice. He was like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
We did notice, and we're just kind of going all over the board, but
yeah,
speaking on razors, Cassius is also has joined the trend of wearing the razor around the forearm.
yep.
So that was cool to see.
Well, yeah, almost never. Mm,
Who are you looking up? The Fury?
yeah, Fury Lady. I'm almost there.
Uh,
Moria, Moria, the Fury, Moira. Yeah,
Moira.
yep.
Yeah, that's Aja's sister, right?
I think so. I think they're. I don't know if they're all actually sisters, but yeah.
And then you've got Magnus, the Ash Lord, who's the father.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, talking about characters,
yeah.
um, you want to move on to talking about some of the characters?
Let's do it.
Let's start off with Darrow.
Hmm.
Um, so the first thing I have about him, uh, kind of the only thing, his character has changed. Um, he's no longer feeling impenetrable and almighty, but he realizes his own mortality. And with that, he allows fear to quote unquote protect him. Uh, like in the sense of I did things as a kid that I would not do now. And when I was a kid, I did them without even second guessing. Like going across logs and high grass, ditch, swampy areas around the neighborhood. As a kid, I never thought twice about any dangers that could happen. Snakes, turtles, falling and getting impaled on random debris that was discarded there. As an adult, I think about all those things, and you know what? The risk is not worth the adventure in that. So kind of the same thing is going on with Darrow. And it's kind of a an effect from him being put in the darkness. Uh,
Yeah,
so
definitely. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. He's also kind of in along kind of that same vein. Is he's more able now to like weigh the risk reward of like the collateral damage, where before he's not didn't seem to he was more in that gold mindset where like doesn't really matter. But you know, there's lots of times where he's like, well, we just opened fire and killed like 50 people in that room. Like didn't really need to die. They were they were just there. It's pretty rough. So that was also kind of a change I saw in him. And it's it's a needed one for if we're gonna build a it's kind of like building him up to be a better ruler or man to think instead of just replacing the golds, he wants to starting to become a little bit better than them.
yeah, I think he had that realization of like, hey, we can't do it the gold way because then we're just replacing one gold with another gold and nothing has changed. You're just putting reds will now become the new gold and they're acting within the same rule set that the golds acted when they ruled. So like that's not what they want. And he started to realize that when he went back to Lycos and was talking with his family and with the others that were there. Um, I think he also realized it a little bit when he talked to the what was that guy's name? For lack of for I mean the guy was
It
basically the foreman.
was like Rolo or something like that.
Uh
They're like
no,
contact
not the
guy.
contractor. The guy that was basically the foreman um
Yeah,
over the houses, like the Gamma and whatever. He was talking with that guy too.
yeah.
And like he started to kind of feel like this guy was like he was remembering the abuse that that guy did and how unfair it
Hmm.
was, but then realized that he was just a also a pawn in the structure that Golds had built.
Yeah,
Um, and so he's like, yeah, we got to redo this entire structure. Like, I can't continue to blame that guy for cheating us all those years out of the laurel. And you know, I'm a forgive him and bring him into the fold and let him do his thing as well.
yeah, yeah. And he also like kind of along those same veins, him not being willing to just sacrifice his people by like being able to get off world and letting all those sons of Ares die. Yeah, just him kind of growing into more of a leader, but with a little bit more, I guess, a conscience than he had before.
Yeah, hey, look, we got new things going on. Like we can give some love for Darrow here. Like,
Oh wow, damn.
new little gestures for people watching the video.
What does this do? Oh, doesn't do anything.
No, but this does. Like if we really like something, we can go, oh,
Wow,
hey, fireworks for the New Year's.
jeez, we're leveled up.
Yeah, just don't raise your hand because then it does something. It takes a few seconds for the gesture to do something, but
Hey. Um, but yeah, let's move on. I guess the next person would be with Severo. Yeah, I feel like this is the first book where he became kind of a character.
yeah, and like his character has changed too. Um, and it could just be that we're seeing him more. Um,
Yeah,
but like he seems just more just complete chaos, but more like commanding and demanding of like, hey, you're gonna listen to me, but this is just a while. Like it didn't seem like there was any rhyme or reason to the things that he was going about doing.
yeah. It's kind of interesting because he's kind of like the opposite of Darrow, where he's kind of like gone into the muck, right? No problem with torturing people, no problem. It's all about the mission. Screw collateral damage. Like he's just all one note, and it takes, which makes sense because he's always basically been a rabid dog throughout the entire series. So when he had some power, he kind of just translated to that. And then it took Darrow beating him up to kind of get his head straight because he's kind of focused solely on revenge and yeah.
I
But
just I was trying to think of other movies, but the first one that came to mind was um, Chasing Amy, where the two friends beat the shit out of each other in a fight, and then they sat afterwards. I was like, all right, well, we got that out of the way. Can we go back to being friends and actually
yeah,
work together?
that's basically what they did.
Sometimes that's needed, you know. Just I remember some friends. There's one friend I had. Um, And almost every month or every other week, we were like just fist fighting it out. But then after we were done with it, we're just like, all right, that was done. Now let's play Nintendo.
Does he have a wolf pelt?
Uh he He might have a wolf belt these days. I wouldn't put it past him.
I don't know. You have your own shadow. You got anything else on Severo?
No,
I
it's
will
kind of
say, yeah, I will say this is probably my kind of like the rest of the book. This is my favorite time with Severo. It's also, like you said, the most time we've had with him in like a leadership role. I will say his dialogue is a little cringe, but I think it's supposed to be, so it's like whatever. But he's so over the top, it's kind of funny.
yeah. I can see that.
Um, but yeah, let's see. Who do you want to do next?
Let's talk about Cassius for a little bit.
Okay.
I think um, this book, especially in this section, really starts him. Like we haven't seen much of him since book one. Book one is the most we saw of him.
Mhm.
And I can't even remember if it was book one or book two that he was almost killed.
Those two.
It was two. Okay. Yeah, so that was that. But he wasn't in book two as much as he was
Nah.
in book one. But now we start to see a little bit more. He's becoming that tragic character. Uh, he's still like when he was when they pulled Darrow out from the table, he was looking at him, he's like, he felt pity for him. Uh, and then so he still has that kind of he still feels a connection to Darrow, but his circumstances have kind of forced his hand into his family and now the Sovereign, since he's the only surviving member of his family now.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. Kind of almost like the Hound.
Okay, I can see that. I kind of see him having a Zuko-like arc. I think he's gonna join us at the end.
Zuko.
From Avatar, The Last
Oh,
Airbender,
okay.
or Vegeta.
Okay. Vegeta works
Um,
better for me.
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't actually
Sorry.
watched The Last Airbender.
Oh, you should. It's really good.
I was enjoying a few episodes. Like I started it with Jules one day and we watched like 4 or 5 episodes, but um
But it's the basic thing where like starts off as an enemy, then like you see some like tragic stuff with his father and weird shit, and eventually like becomes a reluctant ally of the good team. Spoiler
yeah.
alert for Avatar and Dragon Ball Z.
I think most people understand what Dragon Ball Z is about anyway.
True.
Um
Um,
that entire Dragon Ball universe is meeting a villain, defeating them, and going, "Hey, look, let's both get stronger together, and we find more people that are stronger than us and beat them up."
it's a lot of anime. Because it turns out if you make a cool villain, what if he just didn't die and just had a new cool character? That's a basis for a lot of anime. Like,
Yeah.
why waste a character when I can just have him stick around for 300 more episodes?
And have him redeem himself over and over and over and over again.
That,
Like
um,
break the redemption, redeem, re-redeem, and
yeah,
all that good stuff.
just, blow up one side of a stadium for just a little oopsie. He'll get
Yeah,
redeemed in
yeah.
Vegeta's.
We'll wash him back with the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, I agree with that. I think Cassius is going to, um, at the minimum, end up not being an evil character.
Yeah, I think he is going to be redeemed while Rook is not. He's going to be like one of the big bads. Just like the way it was set up with like the way he was talking to Darrow at the beginning of the book, and then him meeting with Mustang. I don't know. I think it's being set up,
Yeah, I agree.
and he would also be a. not for this book, but an interesting antagonist foil or whatever for the second era. But yeah, I like him. He's interesting. I kind of wish we had him more in these novels, but what can you do?
Yeah.
I guess my last people. I mean, there is Mustang, but she doesn't really do anything. This section. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought she was gonna be way more prominent in these novels. Maybe that's saved for the era too. Um, but yeah, we learned that Orion's alive from her, which is cool, and that the Pax is around. So, but yeah, she doesn't really do much. I'm guessing she's gonna do way more in the next 400 pages or whatever.
Yeah, she wasn't in this much, but I thought you brought it up with Orion lives and the Pax is intact. That was hilarious where Darrow is like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" Like, hey, you fucking retard.
Did you find it weird that he was like, and somebody let the Talamanus go, and it definitely wasn't me, even though it's in my POV, because he
Yeah.
definitely let him go.
Yeah.
I found that really weird.
Yeah. I did think that part was weird because I was like, who would let him go? And why would he care? Why would he
Yeah,
care enough to make a note of it?
yeah, I,
Because like he when they parted, they were on good terms still. And
yeah,
I don't think so. Like, all right, Mustang, I don't think like I think in the book it said if she had really hated Darrow for being a red, she would have killed him right then.
yeah.
So the fact that she didn't, she probably would have vouched for Darrow with the Talamanuses,
And she did. They even say that basically when he talks to him.
And so it's like they were trying to set up that they weren't to be trusted. I'm like, no, like the Telemanuses were some of the like, especially with his relationship with Pax. Like these people were die-hard Darrow supporters.
Yeah,
Like especially
and they hate the jackals.
yeah, and especially if Mustang is there with them. It's like they're not gonna betray him. Um,
Yeah,
but
I just found
the
it weird that he's like
Jackal,
somebody. Yes.
but the Jackal, on the other hand, I'm sitting here wondering why anybody would ever ally themselves with him because he's proven over and over again. And in fact, he tells people, I just use people to get what I want, and I'm very chaotic. And I think, it's going where the sovereign is like realizing that. And I think that was the whole point of the meeting
Yeah.
with Mustang, Cassius, and Quicksilver.
Yeah, because they thought that Darren and them were the Bone Raiders. So pretty cool name.
That is a
Yeah,
cool name and a good counterpoint to the Howlers.
yeah,
And when I was reading the Dramatis Persona, I was like, who the fuck are the Bone Raiders? Bone Riders.
Bone Ra yeah,
And it's like naming all these people as like so and so, former what Thistle or whatever,
something like
former
that.
Howler, now Bone Rider. I'm like,
Oh shit.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is kind of funny. The Jackal has betrayed every single one of his treaties, and people are still like, "What? No, he will never do that." It is pretty funny.
And I thought it was fun. We don't have to talk about it, but that they brought Lilith back. And basically she's the counter to Severo.
Mhm.
Um, in a sense that she's like the right hand person to the Jackal. She's chaotic. She's named her group of people that she inducts people into. Um, I think
Yeah,
instead of a wolf pelt, they have a mask. Is that a
I think
bone?
so.
It's like a bone mask or something.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah. So a lot of similarities there, but kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight. Um, yeah. Other than that, just the characters that really to me matter are the Howlers. So you got Ragnar is basically the same. Just anime protagonist, unstoppable. And you got the other ones that I forget their names. I just go, oh yeah, you exist. And then we have Victra, who's now a Howler, and she's pretty. I like her a lot. Um, her, you know,
There's
having.
still
Hmm?
there's still a chance that Victra and Darrow have romance before he gets back up with Mustang. I felt I felt undercurrent undernotes of that in this section though. And like especially when they had the time jump from her carving and him describing that they trained together and the amount of time that they've spent together and it was the gravity the time when the gravity was there and like she couldn't lift it and then he was having trouble lifting it and Ragnar just came up and picked up whatever it was that they couldn't lift.
Yeah,
But around that scene was one of those times where he was like noting and comparing himself to Victra. I was like, they spend a lot of time together. Like I was expecting him to write a scene where they were like they retired to their bunk together. Um, and that was
yeah.
one of my predictions before was
I'll say this honestly, like since we just haven't seen Mustang as much, I'm kind of down for him and Victra. Um,
you're down for it. You're
yeah, I'm down for that romance.
shipping them.
I mean, sure. It's just like if we're gonna do romance, like uh I mean I think it's already stated that it's basically gonna be Mustang, but like she just needs to be in the book. And then we can be like, oh okay, their relationship's really good or whatever. And then like, maybe Victor will get like Ragnar or something. Yeah.
Yeah, kind
Uh,
of like if we go to the Throne of Glass, it's kind of like Selena's, where her romance, it was like, without really giving many spoilers, it became, it came up quick and it was, um, tension was brought up, but then there was a resolution and then like I don't know. It was defined. It was well defined, even though there was some other tension between two characters, or three technically. But um,
classic
she,
love triangle.
yeah, Sarah Maas did it pretty well, and even in the prequel of her books, she didn't just leave it ambiguous. Um, so as I've been reading the prequel, my mind has been comparing it to Red Rising
Yeah, and I get that
relationships.
like
So
this isn't, not everybody's forte is romance. We read it all the time, and basically that the romance in that novel is or that series is they're in love now. Like, okay, all right, cool. Thanks for telling me that.
they
So
got
like,
married.
yeah, they got married off screen. Like so I don't obviously there's not that much time in these novels. They're not super long or super wild romance, but uh yeah, I'm down
There's
for picture.
there's still
There's time enough.
there's still a chance for a thruple as well.
Yeah,
So he could have both Victra and Mustang.
yeah. Or Victra gets with Severo. Or
Ah,
I'm trying to think of else. It'd be like Ragnar. She's like, you're
eh.
a big dude. Let's do it. Let's do this.
That would be weird.
That would be weird. I guess we forgot to mention Darrow got his sigils removed, so he's no color. Rah, down with the system.
What? All right, let's talk about sigils.
Ow.
What are they?
I don't know. I think they're like something in your hand.
Is
They're
this
like
just nebulous?
it's very nebulous to me.
Okay. I was trying to wonder if I was just missing something completely, or if it's just like oh yeah, sigils are a thing, and we're not really going to describe.
They've mentioned them. Um, I think they just show your color because they obviously don't show like your ID and stuff. They should. Um, but they've been very nebulous.
It's almost like a microchip, but instead of your identity, it's just your color.
Yeah, I think it's like a swirl or something that has like a color in your hands.
Okay.
Um, let's see, is there an image of it? Ah, yeah, that's one of the world building failures, I'd say. All I know is that they're there and he doesn't have them anymore.
Okay.
It's a big
Yeah,
deal.
he is sigilless.
Yep. But obviously they could be fake because his are faked. Um, also everybody in the system was released his carving, so they know that anybody can become a gold with technology. It's pretty crazy.
So nobody trusts anybody anymore.
Exactly.
Fake
Um,
news and AI is out.
it's true, deep fakes. I mean, they even make real people that look like Dara that can get executed. Um,
That poor person.
mhm, yep.
All right.
Uh,
Any more
yeah,
characters?
no, I think that's everybody.
Okay. All right, we'll do writing style, passages, and or quotes, foreshadowing, etc. We already mentioned this book. One of the things it immediately started doing is having connecting chapters.
Yes.
We are no longer fast traveling. We are having exposition in between chapters, having plans, having uh, relationships form and span out,
Mhm.
which is nice.
Yeah, chapters build around themselves,
Yeah,
or he, in the chapter going to go see Quicksilver, the next chapter picks up with him going to see Quicksilver. Yeah, just much more coherent.
yeah. Um, I was thinking about uh, like when the book started, I was like, all right, why would we start with him captured? It's like, okay, well, him being captured to me was absolutely necessary, so that we could see the meetings of the enemy. And that's given that simply because it is a book written from his point of view, you have
Yeah,
to insert him among the enemies at certain times if you want to know what's happening with the enemy, or you get it secondhand news.
yeah. It was
So
also important to show his new kind of psyche throughout the book.
true. Yeah.
And it kind of also, for me, that opening really established the new writing style because it was very slow and like character focused and stuff. I was like, what am I reading? What is this?
Yeah. And speaking of characters, so I have a few of my favorite character developments happening. So we get Darrow and Cassius right before
Mhm.
Darrow is rescued. So there's a good scene of tension between the two, and like Cassius going, "Hey, mate, we shouldn't kill him. You know, we need him." And Darrow noticing, like, what's his deal? Why is he doing this now? Like, he wanted me dead before. Uh, the build up of Darrow and Victra at the end of part one, whenever she's rescued, and she's like, "Why did you rescue me?" And it's like, "Well, you're one of us. Let's get you carved up, and we're gonna be badasses together."
Mhm.
Um, and then in chapter 15, when Darrow is they're breaking into Quicksilver's house, and they like he sees Mateo there. He's going, "Why is Mateo there?" Like he starts to have all these thoughts as he's going through the house. So it's a really good character development so far
Definitely,
in
yeah,
this book. So,
definitely.
and like you said, I think, let's see, page 127, just out of nowhere to me was description. So, uh, of Quicksilver. Like he's bald, forehead wrinkled as a washboard, pugilist lips, hunched simian shoulders leading to butcher fingers that sprout from the sleeves of a high-collared Venusian turquoise robe embroidered with apple trees. He's in his 60s, skin bronzed with a marrow deep tan. Small goatee and mustache accent his face in a vain attempt to give it shape. Like, what? We're
Yeah,
going to 0 to 60 real fast
we
here.
are.
Okay, I know what Quicksilver looks like now. The Jackal, I might not be able to tell you what he looks like.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what the Quicksilver looks like.
yeah. Like there's a this whole when they get to Phobos in chapter 14, there's this whole description of that. And I was like, oh, we're getting like real descriptions of this thing. Yeah, it like I said, it's like he. I mean, first two novels getting he's obviously getting better. I think each one has been a better book. So this one was definitely starting to ramp up the descriptions and the characterization and the connections of the thing. I'm curious if at the time there was any like of our criticisms that you kind of took to heart.
Yeah, I want to like I really want to believe it, like because it's so much more improvement.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, it's crazy how good it was. And the other one more thing with this is in chapter 17, Killing Golds, when all hell broke loose inside the meeting room, that action scene was really well written. Like
yeah, it was.
as I was reading, I was like, I'm not having a problem following this, and I don't think Justin will either.
No,
Like it's like, all right, this person is here, this person is here, this person's doing this. The only thing that I got confused on was who was it? Somebody was leaving, and was it the coppers, and there was like shit. The the shit crumbled, though, like the rocks crumbled down.
um,
It said it buried people. I was like, well, is that
yeah,
person dead?
probably.
But it didn't say if they were or not.
Hmm. I mean, I know that like pillar crumbled on Quicksilver, so I don't know if that was a.
Say that again.
We find out that a pillar crumbled on Quicksilver, trapped him down there, knocked him unconscious.
Yeah. So it's like hypersonic pulse fire rips between them over their heads, through them, buckling the columns. Quicksilver runs behind two coppers, using them as human shields when shrapnel rips into them, and they all tumble down in a mess of limbs and blood. So I'm like, all right, well, did Quicksilver just die in limbs and blood too? Because the next thing was Moira, the Fury, rushes Severo to impale my friend from behind with a razor as he tries to move past Ragnar. And I was like, it never came back, but obviously later on they're talking with Quicksilver, but
Yeah.
and maybe that's accurate as far as his point of view, right? There's action happening, and so like why would it have been written like that? Like just to give the benefit of the doubt, like, okay, Darrow is fighting, and this is point of view of him. He just sees, kind of maybe sees out of the corner of his eye few people run away, recognizes one of them, and then like something crushes him. It's like, okay, well maybe he's gone. All right, next, what else am I seeing going on here? Um, so maybe
Yeah.
it's realistic, although confusing, but maybe Darrow is confusing, or not confusing, but confused. So
Yeah. I felt that this battle particularly, sometimes you can have it where I think it was intentionally trying to be a little confusing because of the craziness of like the Mexican standoff that was happening. So it just like bullets flying everywhere and stuff. So like I found it well written, and like I kind of knew everything was happening, like you said. And any like confusion I felt was like realistic to the scene instead of in previous combats just being like, I think this is badly written. I thought this was well written. That's my
yeah,
opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anything else you have for that section?
No, I think we've kind of talked about it. Like I said, this reading this novel so far, might shit the bed, definitely made me more interested in reading the next era. Because I'll be honest, like if it was more book two, I'd probably just be like, nah, I'm good, era two. Like we can do something else. But now I'm like, maybe after, a while we could come back to the series.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard good things about the second series. So hopefully the writing in this book holds up. It makes us want to read more. I know Chris loves it. Um, there's a lot of people a lot of content creators that I've started following and whatnot that love the Cosmere, that also love all of the Red Rising books. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Pierce Brown is on panels and does things with Sanderson as well, so they
Yeah,
kind of know each other. So,
it's fun.
uh, but yeah, you already kind of mentioned your thoughts on the theme. I'll add to that and saying that I think another theme is like transformation. So like
Mm.
Darrow fighting back through fear of the darkness and learning like to lead again, but in a different way than he did before. So where he goes, okay, well, we have to think about the communities, we have to think about other people. You also have Cassius, you see it a little bit in Cassius where he's no longer like what he told, in book one, at the end of book one, he told Darrow, like, the next time I see you, I'm going to kill you. Now he's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't kill him. You have Severo, who's stepped into the mantle of Ares for whatever reason. Um,
Well, there was
and
a leadership vacuum. It makes sense
yeah,
with
um, but his character in the leadership role seems so much different than his character before, where he was an outcast and then kind of got a um, almost Lord of the Flies built the Howlers and had his
Mhm.
own little group, but now he's got the whole Ares, Sons of Ares. Um, Extremely wild, doesn't know how to lead, and feels insulted when Darrow tries to lead over him. And then you see that fight happen, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And somebody goes, "Hey, who's the leader?" And it's like, "Well, we got one and we got two. We're both leaders. So like,
Yeah.
figure it out. Like you got a mom and a dad now. So figure it out."
Like said there was one. Uh but my take with Severo is he's a really good like tactics leader. He's not good at strategy. So he's very good with his like howlers, small squad personal, and do a lot of crazy shit. But when he had to like do the whole strategic aspect of winning a war and running a rebellion stuff, he could not do it.
He's good with battles, but not wars.
Yep.
I c- I'll agree with that.
Because he's since book one, he's been able to inspire people to do crazy shit. It was just a very small subset of people,
Yeah.
the insane people.
All right, Justin.
Yeah.
What is your athletic feat of the week?
I think the only one that makes sense to me is surviving zero G in space.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
that was crazy,
it's not
but
really an
we've
athletic
seen that
feat.
before.
True.
Not quite unsuited, but we've seen them fly through space and through something. Um,
Yeah. It was either that or just being able to move after being confined in a table for 6 months. Is pretty athletic because that would be so much pain.
yeah.
What you got?
Um, Mine goes to Ragnar.
Obviously.
Just jamming the razor into the Death Knight's head.
Should we just call this Ragnar's athletic feat of the week? Because I think he's gonna have one every time in this book.
Yeah, but there was also the one where he in what was it, 8 times gravity, just walked
Yeah,
over and picked something up.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean that's an athletic feat in and of itself.
yeah. He's insane.
Yeah. All right. Favorite moment. I kept writing the moments I liked down. I didn't pick one of these four that I have written down. So you give us yours.
All right, I think I'm gonna do the the whole section of infiltrating Quicksilver, exposing the meeting, and then the whole gunfight and everything. Because I really liked like the clandestine stealth aspect of it. Like it was really cool when they like cut the hole and then they were in zero G, but when they went in, they like suddenly had gravity and like shot down. Um, ghost cloaks are cool. So I just like that entire, and then we got to see Mustang and Cassius. That whole entire section was really fun.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was one of my four that I wrote down. Um, the let's see. Darrow jumping off the platform with Holiday and Victor was kind of badass.
That was cool.
Um, so that's one of the other ones. Um, I also like the induction to the Howlers.
Mm, yeah,
It was kind of fun and funny.
it was that because everybody else is like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
I guess we didn't talk about it. Just remembered while they were infiltrating Quicksilver, nukes were shot on Mars, and we don't know by who or where at. So we'll learn that later. But yeah, there was like two or three nuke. They were just like infiltrating. He's like staring. It's like, oh, we're just so pretty. You left a nuke? There's like a couple of nukes going off. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm guessing that'll come up. If it
yeah,
doesn't, then shame on you, Pierce.
yeah. I would assume so. And
All right, we got our favorite moment. How about your least favorite moment?
uh, this one's a tough one. Just like I think this book is uh largely just really good. Uh,
I could give you mine.
I can do it. Yeah, do it.
I've talked about it before. Severo's change of behavior, his personality. I have a hard time with that, especially in the aftermath of the gunfight in Quicksilver's room.
Mm.
When he's like, "We should kill Cavex." I'm like,
Yeah, that was a little.
okay,
Yeah,
maybe we don't trust him, give him blind trust, but just to kill him outright, like, come on, you knew Pax. Like Severo, you knew Pax. Why do you want to kill Cavex immediately? Like this is bizarre. Like
yeah,
this is not
yeah,
rational. Completely irrational behavior. And I don't like it.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. Him torturing that pink that I forgot the name of Matthias or something like that.
Mateo?
Mateo was pretty
Yeah,
rough.
that too.
Yeah,
Like, come on, Severo.
I think it was just to show how like on edge he is. He's basically at the brink of breaking.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's the chapter title, The Weight of Ares. It's about Severo and like, you know, that's that's Pierce's way of justifying it. Like the weight of leadership, the weight of power changes people and you don't know how to deal with it. But I don't know. I still don't.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Uh, I guess mine would be there's not too much. Just be how every named person just dies so easily. Even though it's from my favorite part, still it's really funny. I just want like some cool fights. Some like nice dueling with like named people that are cool. Uh and I do agree with you with Severo. Um and also it's not like a least favorite moment. It was just kind of weird. Where like when he was doing his speech, it went like outside Darrow's perspective. It was kind of weird. Did you get it? Was like, and then the voice or the heartbeat reached this, and they felt the rise up in the earthen plains or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I was thinking of the same thing because it started describing
Yeah.
people in
Uh,
other places and how they were affected.
yeah. And I
And
was
I was
like,
like,
is this Darrow thinking about this, or is this actually happening? Because it's a different perspective. It was just a little weird. So it's not a big deal. It's just kind of funny.
yeah, I had forgotten about it, but you brought it up. It reminded me. I was like, oh yeah, it's like, that's strange. How?
Yeah. So those are my, like I said, kind of little nitpicks because this section's mainly really good. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have as much negative things to say about this as the others.
exactly. Hey, shows
Okay.
we're legit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us something good, we won't criticize.
All right. Predictions.
Hey, I've given one of mine, which is I think Cassius reluctantly joins them.
A song just came into my head. But we are talking about predictions. Let's see. I can agree with that. I could. Ugh. I still think there's the opportunity of. I'm still holding out for romance between Victra and Darrow.
Sure. Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
have
could.
any. I don't have any big predictions for the end of the book or anything else, but
I mean, I think my really easy one is they're gonna win. It might
yeah,
be
I'm
a.
trying not to be so
Yeah,
like
I know, I know, I
obvious.
know.
Yeah,
I mean, since I know there's an era two, it might be like it might end. The book might end with like a half victory, where like the moon colonies and Mars are like under their control, but Earth and Venus and whatever, I don't know if Mercury are colonized, but like those are still under the Sovereign's control. So
I
like
could
sets
see
up,
that happening.
yeah, kind of like a in Star Wars you get like the New Republic, but the Empire's still around.
Yeah.
And there's like
Or they could do like the offspring of somebody coming back.
yeah,
So they do win, but they let somebody live, like Lysander.
yeah,
Um,
I can
a
see him.
la the Gavinor
Yeah,
type way.
I don't know how long the gap is between Era 2, but I could see Lysander being the main character. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think if somebody important's gonna die, I'm gonna go with Severo.
You think Severo dies?
Yeah, I think Severo dies this book.
Who else we have? Okay.
I'm thinking either him or Ragnar dies.
It would have to be one of those two.
Yeah, or I guess Victra paving the way for him and Mustang, which would be sad. Don't want to fridge Victra.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's gonna be Mustang. It would be hilarious if it was though. Um,
That would
you
be
can see like
terrible.
the Telemines dying.
Telemonaces, yeah.
Telemonaces. I can see Orion. I don't know if you kill off Orion after she was like almost killed off Offspring, but maybe I can see that Orion dying. I think somebody important is gonna die.
Yeah,
Which is gonna be sad.
they will be. All right. Any last words?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Right. So with that, our next episode discussion. Um let's see. Is it page 360 or 370? What's 185 times 2? 370? Yeah. All right. So we're gonna read through page 40, not page, through chapter 47. So chapter 24 through 47.
All right.
And that's going to be the next section discussion. And then we'll read the last section for the episode after that. So, thank y'all for sticking around. If you've made it this far, do us a favor, hit that like. You can follow, subscribe as well. Leave a rating and review wherever you can if you want. Comment, talk to us. Tell us your favorite moments, your least favorite moments. Tell us we're being too harsh. Tell us we're being too nice. Talk about your athletic feat and your feats. But more importantly, share this with friends and family that you want to annoy or you think would enjoy. these types of things. All those things help us out. So, speaking of helping out, you visit our sponsor, mudcatwhiskers.com. Use code paperweights at checkout. And we will see y'all next time.
Mhm.